there's just this magical energy when you get to be on stage.
Welcome to another episode of Chewing the Fat. I am your host, Big Rob. Thank you so much for tuning in, downloading the podcast. I certainly do appreciate it. Oh, it's the podcast where we tell those beautiful, messy human stories. And, everybody's got a great story to tell. And I cannot wait for you to hear the story from my guest this week, calling in from Louisville, Kentucky. Please welcome Melissa Bowen. Melissa.
Hi.
There you are.
I'm here.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Good middle of the week energy happening.
Nice. Nice. I met Melissa, I think she used to live in Columbia, so not far from me. So I think we were in some common acting, like Facebook groups or something like that originally. Yeah. And then paths crossed and Instagrams were followed and this, that, and the other, and support was given. And so it's, So
absolutely.
So, but you're now up in Louisville.
Yeah, that is the Army life. So my husband's active duty. So that explains the move.
Yeah. Well, so the first question is usually you're not from Louisville, so
no, I'm not from Louisville.
Where are you from originally?
Originally, we want to go all the way back. I am from Oregon, Portland area.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah. So West Coast baby still at heart. I've been a bit everywhere. So even before I met my husband, I went from Oregon to Colorado to Texas to California, back to Colorado.
Oh wow!
And then I met my spouse. So.
I was going to say, were you a military kid too?
No, I was just a natural traveler.
Natural traveler. That's awesome. So, how long have you been acting?
Since right before the shutdown.
Wow.
So fall of 2019.
Okay. So 6 years in it. Yeah. What?
Yeah.
So that seems like that's a large part of your, growing up that you weren't doing acting. Did you always have a passion for performing and that type of stuff, or did just something click later in life?
Performing, yes. I'm one of those kids who got put into dance class when I was 3 years old. And that was the goal from then on out, was to be a dancer.
Yeah.
So that was the focus. I actually have my degree. I have a BA in dance. So that was the focus for the longest time. There was a whole bunch in there. In my youth, that was part of like the moving around and stuff, as I was attending different schools, trying to earn my degree, but
gotcha.
bounced around a little bit. At the time, I am, if you add to my tag, I'm actor, dancer, ADHDer. And at the time, I did not know that was the case. And I didn't handle school very well with college and juggling. So I wound up actually not finishing my degree back in my early 20s.
Oh, wow.
And then kind of got a little bitter about it. I took about a decade off from dance.
Oh, wow.
And just experienced life, I would say.
Yeah.
All those random jobs. Customer service, sales. I worked at movie theater. I barista, poker dealer.
Oh, wow.
I've done a little bit of everything. So, but it was kind of nice, because then it was just, I'm actually using all that now, but all that life experience. But yeah, it was kind of bittersweet. And then after I met my spouse, we kind of settled, and I was missing it. I absolutely was missing the dance world. And I got very lucky that the university that was in the town, we were down in Clarksville, Tennessee area at Fort Campbell. They added a dance major like the year almost right before we were leaving. And so I was one of the first dance major classes they let me come and finish out my degree in a year, which was really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And after that, I just kind of dove right back into it, started teaching, and found the passion again.
Yeah. I love that. And you talked about now using all that lived in experience to bring texture and life to your current work. So where was that shift from dancing to acting? Or did you get a dancing acting gig and you're like, oh, I like this,
It was a little bit like that. So we were stationed overseas in Germany, and the military community out there is very tight-knit, very supportive. They actually have a lot of community programs to, help everybody still feel at home.
Yeah.
And they have a great theater community. And they were putting on a production of Young Frankenstein.
Oh.
Which is, I am an absolute Mel Brooks fanatic. Like, when I was 8 years old, I was allowed to check that movie out from the library as many times as I wanted.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I saw that they were doing it, and I was like, well, I just can't not audition for this.
Right.
And even if it was, because the stage production of Young Frankenstein, there's a lot of dancing. There's tap dancing. There's all sorts. So that was a great way to dip my toes into that side of things. I'm not the greatest. I'm not the greatest singer, so it was good that there was lots of dancing. But it was so much fun, and just meeting all those the energy from all the actors in the production. It was just something I had not experienced in a very long time. Because even as a dancer, as an adult teacher, I was not the one performing. I was teaching kids who were getting to perform. So this was me finding that again as well. There's just this magical energy when you get to be on stage. There's nothing like it. So it was so wonderful to experience that. And then even my daughter, she did that, like the Christmas production of Elf after we did Young Frankenstein. And then February 2020 hit.
Oh, wow.
And everything shut down. We were mid recital practice for the ballet program that I was working with out there, and it just all went kaput. Wow. And we adapted as well as we could. I was actually still, giving kids online instruction for ballet exercises they could stay in shape. We were trying. But the theater community, they actually put out table reads. They were like, hey, let's get together, read some Shakespeare. They had workshops. They had people do Zooms from stateside and give acting classes, just one-off workshops, just really stay as motivated as possible. And in that way, I was finding more than just the dance side of the acting world. In that theater, it was definitely leaning into the text more, with it being online. And that was actually one of my guilty pleasures, I guess, in school, is like English was not my focus at all. But one of my favorite classes that's all we did was analyze text. She'd, assign Emily Dickinson and be like, tear it apart. And that was just, I loved doing that so much, and finding that in that actually a big focus of theater is being able to read the text and find the humanity in it, and interpret it and give it back to an audience. Like, that is very, I don't know. There's just something about it. It's
fulfilling. And you're right when you say there's a magic about it, being able to embody these characters and then allow the audience to come along for the experience. I mean, you're experiencing it again. Yes, you've memorized the lines. You've figured out what your character's viewpoint's going to be and all that stuff. But every show is different. Even though you're doing the same show, maybe 3 times a week, 8 times a week, whatever. But every time you have a different audience,
you have a different audience, and you're a different you. One of the great things that my teacher likes to say is, you are not the same person you were 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So it will be different every time. Like, even if you have plotted out all those beats and things that you need to hit, it will still be alive and different every single time, because you are not the same person who you were. And the world is not the same as it was 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And it's just, that's why they say the theater is living and breathing, and it is. It truly is. So,
no, that's awesome. And so then the move from, everything opened back up. So now we're not performing on Zoom anymore. We're able to actually be around other humans. Where then did you go from the theater side to start saying, oh, well, maybe I want to do some on-camera stuff. I want to...
It was still part of COVID and the shutdown, because there still weren't big productions happening. There might be some here or there. They were trying to do the mask stuff, but we got bounced around a lot. We moved back stateside the summer of 2020. And then we actually got moved around. We were moved again in 21, and it just, but everywhere we were going, there seemed to be a little bit more film still happening than there was theater. And I wasn't trying to get into film. I actually, I took a online acting class out of UT, or they were out of Austin. And then they recommended doing student films with UT Austin, because the school was still doing that. And so I did one student film before we got moved to the next base. And when I had talked to the teacher out of Austin, he's like, oh, Louisville, it's amazing there. There is so much theater. There is so much acting. There's film. There's everything. You'll be fine. And so before I even got here, I had reached out to the local talent agency and just sent my student film that I had done and managed to get representation. So
that's awesome.
It just kind of fell into it. Part of that is, as a military spouse, I've learned to prepare to where I'm going. And it's hard to do that with community theater, because it's all about the auditions once you get there. But I figured this was something that I could try and set up before I arrived, is that I could reach out to a talent agent and be like, hey, what do I need to do to be ready when I arrive?
Right.
Because, for anybody listening who's a military or military spouse, when you move, there's always a 6-month adjustment period. And after so many moves, you learn to kind of help mitigate that there's this process of pre-planning, and it helps, and get it
hit the ground running kind of thing.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I love that. And, and like you say, because you've done it so much, that's something that you can, bring to any part of to helping other people, let them know, hey, if you're doing this, go ahead and do these things. But also, I mean, who knows where that knowledge may come up if you play a military spouse outside of real life, on screen or something like that. That's literally you. You literally know how to act like yourself. So I have to mention it because that's the current movie. You're in this little James Gunn film called Superman. How did that come about?
So our local talent agent, so if you know anything about the Superman movie, they were kind of filming a little bit of everywhere. And they filmed out of Atlanta. They filmed a little in Cincinnati. They filmed out of Cleveland. And my agency is Midwest. So we got all those casting calls that came out of Atlanta, or I'm sorry, the casting calls that came out of Cleveland and Cincinnati. And there was a whole list of background stuff. And I had friends actually down in Atlanta who got the same casting notices, and they're like, we applied to as many as we wanted. Our local agent was like, please just apply to one and pick one. And most of them, as per usual for just a, supporting background character, it's one line and that's it. And I don't do well with that because I never know what they really want. But for this particular one, there was no lines, no dialogue, but it was an entire paragraph of stuff to do. And I was like, well, I can choreograph that.
There you go. Yeah.
It's so it really leaned into just my comfort zone. Because I think that's where, as a dancer, that has really helped inform my acting a lot, and just knowing what I want to do with myself in front of a camera. I can make it look the way I want it to look. So, which I've heard from friends is a great way to not just dance. I know people in martial arts, just any sports, anybody with that kind of background kind of finds acting a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Just from the get-go. But yeah, so this, I was very shocked because this, I sent it off. And normally, particularly with something this big, I would have expected like a callback or something. But I was driving with my youngest in the car and I just got a phone call saying, hey, you booked Genesis, which was the code name for Superman. And it was one of those, I'm sorry, what?
I'm sorry, you're pranking me? What's going on? Yeah.
Like, that just happened. And then I said, thank you, hung up, and then screamed and explained to my daughter what was happening.
Why are you screaming? That's awesome. That's awesome. And so for the folks who maybe didn't read the show notes yet on this, Melissa is woman in car in Superman. And you did you talk about not having dialogue, but you did such a masterful job of storytelling just with your eyes and your face. And I mean, you could tell, it was great. I mean, literally you could tell everything that was being said without anything having to be said. I mean, between the two of you, between you and David, it was just amazing. It was super. Sorry.
And my favorite part is people always ask, like, was David there? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
But at the same time, because Google is incorrect, if you Google and ask, it will say that it was a green screen shot, and it was not, because James Gunn does everything practically. We were on the Detroit Superior Bridge filming that, and it was just composited together. Yes. Green screened. No. Yeah, it was fun. So like all that but that's what I'm saying. Reaction.
Yes, you were doing it to no one. I mean, you were doing it to the crew. You're doing, you know what I mean? But that's what I'm saying. And his reactions to what that's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
When I saw his reactions, I was like, oh my goodness.
If only I had known when I was making this. Yeah. No, that's what I said. I mean, it was so well done on both of your parts, and then obviously in the edit and being put together and composited. It was great. It was really. Like I said, so it was just some intense magical storytelling without any dialogue. And I think that's hard to achieve.
It is. I mean, I've had people telling me, thank you for, that scene. And I'm like, I had a very small part in that. That was the masterful storytelling from James Gunn, because he knew exactly where he wanted that to go.
Yeah.
And he communicated it in the best way. He actually had like a little animated storyboard of the sequence and just said, I need this. And I was like, that makes it so much easier for me to, he already knew exactly what he wanted. Yeah. And it, I think the genius of Gunn.
I will say is seeing it in the theater and, the first time and because I knew you were in it, but I didn't know what the scene was going to be. I kind of like, I was like, as the actor myself, I was like, let her say thank you. Just get some words. Give her 2 words. Or,
I've had that comment a lot.
Thanks. Something. Just give her, you know what I mean? Of course, that also means you got a higher rate too, but I mean. It
would have been the same either way. So,
oh, well.
Technically. Yeah. No, I've actually had a lot of people say that. And I did was I cut a clip together of my audition with the scene. Yeah. And it was me, because in my audition, I said, thank you. And I was like, there you go, guys.
There it is. There it is right there. No, that's awesome. That's awesome. Having been part of that experience, how is now like going back to the audition routine, because I mean, that's a pretty high to have. And then, but we don't stop. We still go to the dailies. We look for auditions. We wait for stuff to come in from our agent. We, search out other work.
Yeah. And it literally, it was, because we filmed that in early July of 24. And it was as soon as I was back, I was like, okay, what's next? We gotta keep rolling. And I actually had kind of a slow year just because we had transitioned again down to South Carolina from Kentucky at that point. And so it was a little slow. I found some actually really great, there's such a great film community out of Charlotte, North Carolina. And I managed to do a couple shorts with some great folks. Shout out to A1 Day One. And then also local theater there in South Carolina with Chapin Theater, did some short play fest.
Yeah.
So yeah, trying to stay busy, but not as much stuff coming through in the last year. And part of that was, well, there was also the strike, the SAG strike.
Yeah.
Was right after, I think that was all happening like right after I got done filming. And so there was just a lot of nothing for a long time. Even from, I'm still non-union. I'm union eligible, but because I work in the Midwest, we have a lot more non-union work here. So I even as somebody who seeks out independent stuff, it seemed like everybody was just kind of, you know.
I think, even on my side of things, doing voice work, there was still a lot of like, because a lot of voice work is non-union work. It's still like wanting to be in solidarity with your fellow
So
actors.
even though we're not union, we still weren't working just because it did not feel right too.
Exactly. And then, I mean, you don't want to be called a scab. It's like, I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not taking work from a union person. I am just, I'm doing non-union work that they were hiring non-union for anyway. But yeah, so I mean, there's all kind of that internal turmoil with that. But yes, wanting to show a unified front and being like, hey, no, we're gonna stand together in this because it's gonna be good for all of us in the end. Yeah. So I definitely understand that.
But no, I kind of it was down for a little bit, but in the last year, kind of this is our last move. We moved back to Kentucky. So I kind of did the same thing where I was trying to hit the ground running, and I was finding a few more projects right as I think, strike ended, all this. And I'm a big believer in good work can come from anywhere. So I do not discriminate. And I did some student films, and I've done, I did some of that. I'm just trying to keep things moving. Yeah. And everybody, it was like, I know my friends and my acting coach, they were just waiting for the Superman bomb to drop this summer so I could kind of try and use it to get a leg up. And I actually don't know if it has helped me that much. Yeah. It's one of those. Yeah. I did actually manage to book another SAG job last month, and one person on the set knew I was in Superman.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was very much it was not even part of the equation in getting cast. Yeah. So,
well, I feel like, maybe you should just hire yourself out to like some car dealerships there in the Louisville area, just to sit in cars, just to drive the car, you know what I mean? And have the, I'm very much trying not to talk about Superman too much. I don't want to annoy my kids, keeping it running. Yeah. It did drop to DVD this week, a couple days ago. Just saying. Digital. And so the last hurrah, because I'm trying to, I'm not an actor with a social media presence, but I try when I can. So we have this idea that this Saturday, we're just going to go to our local Walmart, and I'm going to take a Sharpie, and I'm just going to stand next to the display and be like, have you got your Superman today? Because I'm in it. And just call that. Yeah. Just be like, would you like my autograph? And just call that the last hurrah, and be like, and then move on completely. Yeah. So just need something to bookend the whole Superman experience and be like, I'm good. Yeah. But I think that's great. I think you're absolutely, you should just take the Sharpie and just autograph a bunch of copies anyway. I'm just saying, just secretly, people have these autographed copies of Superman. They're like, who's Mob? But yeah, I mean, but having that's something that's cool about having a tangible version of what you were in, you know what I mean? To show, hey, I'm in this. A friend of mine did a video game, and it was like a Steam game, but now they've actually pushed it out on platforms, and so he can
nice.
so he can get a physical. So he's like, I got a physical copy of the game that I was in. I was like, that's so cool. I did the Spectacular Now with Miles Teller years ago, and my scene got completely cut, like from the movie. There was a whole storyline that got completely cut from that movie, but I was in the deleted scenes. So like going by the Walmart bin and like, hey, there's my $5 movie, and I'm in the deleted scene. So if you want to see me, you just have to get the DVD and watch the deleted scenes in it. So, I mean, but it's something cool about having that physical copy that you can put your hands on of your work, because our work is so non-tangible, sort of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So outside of acting and your career and your things that you got going there, what else are you into? You speak about your family very highly, and but what's bringing you joy?
So a lot of things. I part of why we moved back to Louisville was because of this great community they have here. There's definitely a big. It's people here, Louisville, big city, bourbon city. It's we've got the Louisville Slugger Museum, the Muhammad Ali. It's this great cultural city, but it's not that big. It takes me 30 minutes to drive from one side of town to the other, which is really nice. But it's like we have a little bit of everything. And as somebody who is in acting, who is in dancing, who is in, I have a teenager in visual arts. This has been really great to come back here. Previously, when I was here, I did start dancing with my first time dancing professionally with a local contemporary modern company called Ambo Dance Theater. Wow. And which was milestone, like after 40, dancing professionally for the first time.
I love it. That's awesome.
That's not normal. That's not the usual track. But they've kind of kept in touch while I was down in South Carolina. And now that I'm back, I re-auditioned for the company and we're back doing that. So currently in rehearsals for the Christmas production or the holiday production. It's the modern version of the Nutcracker, where they call it the graham cracker.
I love that.
So it's a lovely twist where instead of traveling to the land of sweets, it's everybody gets a little sugar high at a bonfire with s'mores. And there's this wonderful marshmallow versus chocolate. That's the land of the sweets. It's this marshmallow versus chocolate battle. And graham cracker brings them together.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that.
Yeah. So that is in rehearsal. And then I actually just started, they're doing a new piece based on Carmilla, which I had never heard of. Carmilla is actually, I believe, the original vampire. Predates Bram Stoker's Dracula. And so they're doing a new original, hopefully 20-minute piece where taking pieces of this, and I get to play Carmilla. So,
oh wow, that's awesome!
Yeah, we'll preview that probably the week after Halloween. So that I'm very excited for that one.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so lots of good stuff there, and there are actually we just had there's a local fundraising thing that happens called Give for Good Louisville, where literally every nonprofit in town spends a week fundraising. And they just got enough funds in the last week. They're hoping to kick off the first annual Kentucky Dance. Oh my goodness. Let me say it right. I'm getting a little tongue twisted.
It's okay.
So it's one of those, they used to do NACHMA, which is the National Dance Choreography Month. And they would do that every year. But it felt very, there's a lot that goes into that with people having to choreograph specifically for that show. And so what they want to do is they want to invite companies from all around Kentucky and from neighboring states and eventually nationwide to come in and have a dance conference for a week.
Oh, wow.
So, and they're hoping to kick off this spring with as many local companies and then grow from there annually. So that's the vision. And I absolutely love it. And I'm so excited for them.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love to see your passion for your dance. Obviously that's your starting point. That's what's ingrained so much. So, and your face just lights up when you talk about that. And I'm sure it's, fulfilling to see one to perform, but also to see these other people get excited about it, especially like kids. And you mentioned something just a few seconds ago about like that it's not normal for, after 40 professional dancer, things like that. I think that now is probably one of the best things that I have seen in my entire life, that normal is a construct that we do not need to adhere to. If you have passion for something, go after it. It doesn't matter if you feel like it's late in life or I'm too old for this, or I'm too, what? Mm-hmm. If you have the passion for it, I definitely think you need to get out and you need to do it. If for no other reason, so that you don't go to your grave saying, I wish I'd tried. I wish I'd put myself out there more or whatever, if you at least put yourself out there, if you can do it or not, you know what I mean? So yeah. I think it's great. I think it's great that you are a over 40 professional dancer. I think that is just amazing. And I mean, and like I said, your face lights up when you talk about that stuff. I just think it's amazing.
I mean, yeah, I can't, I love the work. The work, I think, is what keeps me going. And whether that's acting or dancing or even my friends sometimes make the mistake of asking me to take a look at something they've written, and I go way over the top because it's that analytical analyzing the text. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, I get very animated. Yeah, I don't know. It is just the daily fuel for what keeps me going. And I can't say I was always this way, because I did take a good decade off. I think I was a very shy, quiet kid. Mm-hmm. And something about becoming a mom and going back to school and took some chances with some new experiences that really helped me lose the embarrassment of because as a performer, I don't think I ever had it as a dancer. I don't think I ever felt that embarrassment, but as an actor, having a voice that I did always kind of have a little bit of, uncertainty there, but there was like a stretch where I was trying new things and really trying to actively pull myself out and just go do embarrassing things in public just because. And it was done in a creative way. There was an event that we would participate in, and it would just really force you to look. You can ask, just go ask somebody for help, or go do, and the worst they can say is no, and it's not going to hurt. And just go be silly. Go dress up like, a crazy wizard and go walk through the store. Nobody is going to worry about anything. So it was a great exercise in just being comfortable in myself. And my kids did that with me too. So I hope it helped them too a little bit. But
yeah. I think sometimes with age, you're the give a F quotient changes in life. Yeah. Because you realize the things that are important to you, the things that are not important to you, and the things that you worried about that you realize were nothing that you ever should have worried about, and to give yourself the opportunity to play, to be who you are, and to not try and to fall into some sort of construct or box that your past society, your friend group may have wanted to put you in, and to just be you. Yeah. Just be authentically you.
Yeah. And I think especially as we get older, not to bring it down at all, but just, you do experience loss sometimes in family and friends and things. And so you kind of see how much time like you have. It is not infinite.
That's right.
And if there are things you are passionate about, do not wait. Definitely changed perspective for me. And that you just really need to focus. I mean, I wake up every day going, what's on the to-do list today? And it's not that I'm just trying to like stay busy. It's that there are places I want to go, things I want to do, things I want to see. And it won't happen unless you're active and actively pursuing that. And it is a branding mindset.
Melissa, this is the second segment of the show. This is where we dive a little bit deeper into your mental health journey. I definitely believe the more that we can talk about the things that we've dealt with, the more common ground that other people can find in that. Because sometimes, it's depression wants to tell you you're alone, and that's how it tries to take power over you, is that no one else feels this way. But I don't believe that. So I think when we tell our stories, it helps ourselves heal. It helps others heal as well. So for you, how do you keep the darkness at bay?
Very much on a day-to-day basis. I mean, every time I wake up, I need to reassess and I think routine is a wonderful thing in that, I wake up, make my coffee, and we just kind of start feeling where the day wants to go, what it's like. I know, especially recently in politics and whatnot, you never know what the day is going to bring. Changes the tone of the times. But yeah, it very much is about staying aware, and being able to, I know it's hard for people a lot of times, especially when if you start sinking into that depression a little bit, to have that self-awareness, to be able to look at what's happening within your body or within your head and be like, okay, what's feeling off today? What is not quite right? What do we need to sit with? What do we need to account for? And I think it's kind of a skill like anything else is that you really just need to continue trying to self-assess. And I don't know. Yeah, for me, I mean, I would love to say music has always kind of been, I'm one of those people that always has a soundtrack running to my life.
Yeah.
And I always said that was my attraction to dance, was just because it was music.
Yeah.
But I know we lost a family member in 22. And I know when that happened, I think the music just turned off. I found myself, and I didn't realize it until like 6 months later, that I stopped listening to music. And it was just not there anymore. And then, but what I did find was that I was still moving. And the moving, and at the time, I think I was dancing some, but it was more like I have German Shepherds, and so they need a walk, whether I want to walk them or not.
Yeah.
But it was that movement and getting myself, keeping the blood flowing, that became the routine. And I think that is actually what kind of helped pull me out of the headspace that I was in at the time. So as much as I want to say music is the thing, I think music is maybe my canary in the coal mine.
Yeah.
So depending on the kind of music I need, how loud it can be, whether it's there at all, that is kind of like a gauge for my mental health at the time. And then the movement is the medicine. So whether that is a full dance class, whether that's walking around the block, just kind of help keep me going.
Yeah.
And I hope it's that way until I'm 85.
Yeah. I love that. I love the thought. I love the thought of the music that helps motivate, but then also just the motion helps motivate too. So when that music turned off for you and you didn't necessarily realize it, you may have been still moving out of, habit, quote habit, because you have to take the dogs for a walk or whatever. But when you realized that the music was gone too, that it wasn't like, well, now I'm going to quit moving too. You're like, no, well, maybe if I keep moving, the music comes back.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that the two can live separately, and and it's not necessarily a one-way street. The music didn't have to motivate the movement. Sometimes the movement could motivate the finding of the music again. I think that's beautiful.
Yeah. And it really, for me, when it comes to acting, I find, everybody has their ups and down days. Mm-hmm. And I really do have that, I think, where I find work begets work. So coming out of that, I think it was about 3-4 months in, and I just had one week where I felt the blood flowing. I could feel, I was feeling more active. The music still wasn't there, but there was one day I had a bunch of self-tapes to turn in, because we're virtual world. It's all self-tapes. And I booked everything I submitted for.
Wow.
And that was just kind of like a turning point. Because that set me up for, then all of that was filming, 4 months later, and for springtime. Mm-hmm. And there's something about, I'm very much a seasonal person. So those transition seasons, spring and fall, they really help me push into the new things that I need to do. And it was like March into April, I think, is when we started filming. And that was my first experience on set. And it really just, I kept moving. I remember I was still taking the dogs for walks and stuff all winter long, and being on set. The first project I did, it was called Unnatural, and we were literally living in an old West camp for 2 weeks. And I still found myself, I tend to be fairly shy when it's in groups. So I'd wake up and go outside my cabin and do yoga on the side, and I'd live in the kitchen helping them cook breakfast, that kind of thing. I just wasn't really a super social. But at the end of those 2 weeks, I drove home and the radio was cranked all the way up. Like,
I love that.
It was, So it's such a good experience. And then, because work begets work, I came home and had an audition the next week and booked my first SAG movie. So it just keeps putting you in the right headspace if you just keep moving.
All right, Melissa, this is the third segment of the show. It's time now for the Fast Five. The Fast Five. It's time now for the Fast Five. Fast Five. Sorry, still working on a theme song for the segment. It's only been 5 years, but eventually I'll record something. Fast Five is powered by Poddex. It's an app created by my friend Travis Brown. If you go to chewingthefatbr.com/poddex, it'll take you to your favorite app store so you can download the app. It's made for podcasters, but they're great icebreaker questions. So we got 5 questions, no wrong answers. First thing that comes off to the top of your head. Okay, you ready?
Okay. No pressure.
All right, here we go. Question number 1. Is there any local dish or food product from where you grew up that you just absolutely miss?
From where I grew up?
Whichever one.
I'm like, which location? Honestly, so when I lived in California, there was, just those really small taco stands we would go to at 4 a.m, and you just order chips and guac. And sometimes you just want chips and guac.
At 4 a.m.
And I miss those because they don't have them out here. So
you got hot browns now. Maybe they need a hot brown stand or something like that at 4 a.m. I love that. Question number 2. Which you think is prettier, a sunrise or a sunset?
Oh, sunrise. I mean, sunsets are gorgeous if at the beach. I love sunset at the beach. But a sunrise, I think, is pretty anywhere. And birds chirping and a new day starting and possibilities. Like, sunrise.
I love that. Question number 3. What was the first car you ever owned?
Ford Escort. I want to say 95 Ford Escort.
Ooh.
It was, yeah. I only had it about a year.
It was, yeah.
Yeah. Just leave it at that.
That's number 4. If you could learn any language fluently, what would it be?
Oh, well, that's hard because we Duolingo a lot. I think it would be interesting to learn Welsh.
Ooh.
Just because
like
it's
that.
The level of difficulty on it. I think, they say learning languages, it changes the way your brain is wired.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that would definitely be one that would open up new synapses. And yeah. And technically I have Welsh background, so
I tried to learn like some like Irish Gaelic through Duolingo and stuff like that. And that's got none of those letters make those sounds that you're supposed to make when you look at them. So no, I totally understand that. That's great. All right, question number 5. When is the last time that you cried?
Like for real or on camera? Did we say on camera last week?
But for real.
For real, probably only a couple weeks ago too, just because sometimes it's just life is stress.
Yeah.
And sometimes, I hate the saying, sometimes you just need a good cry, but sometimes it's hard to not.
Yeah.
And yeah. And I'm kind of one of those funny people, like when I am sad, I don't cry. If that makes, it just kind of shuts down and the crying doesn't happen. I actually found that in my acting that during the periods of the low points and they need you to cry on camera, I actually couldn't.
Wow.
It just wouldn't. They're like, well, it looks like you're crying because you're looking very sad. But there was never, I promise there were never any tears. I actually find when I'm in a better headspace and things are more free, then it's easier to kind of let go. And that's when the real tears, I think, come.
Yeah. You're kind of more opened up to it.
I let the emotions flow.
Yeah. I can cry at the drop of a hat. I'll cry watching car commercials and stuff. It's just, oh, look at that little girl's a grandma in the back seat, actually, that kind of stuff gets me. I'm like I'm getting welled up right now. Anyway, so dumb. And
can I, before we close this out, because I am an ADHDer and I always get my dates wrong. We were talking about 2024 and look, this has been living in my brain for the last half hour. And the SAG strike was actually in 2023, but the effects of it had carried into 2024. And I just need to clarify that. I do that a lot. As an ADHDer, I will go back and edit my conversations and apologize for when I overstep people. And it's,
you're good.
Part of learning how to manage and still my ADHDers out there, we understand, right?
Yeah, I got you. I'm right there with you. No, that's perfectly fine. But that is our Fast Five, and that's the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
No, this was awesome. This really was. This was great. If folks want to keep up with you, I know you said you don't do a lot of social media and stuff, but if folks want to keep up with you and watch you sign autographs of your movie, what's the best way that they could keep up with you?
So my tag on all the socials is Mob Scenery. So MOB Scenery. You got to use the middle initial on my name because there is another Melissa Bowen actress out there. I don't think she said anything in a while, but I had my kids come up and ask, or my kids teacher asked if I was on NCIS, and I had to say, no, I'm sorry, that's not me. So Mob Scenery on pretty much anything. If you go to like a link tree / Mob Scenery, it'll show you everything I got.
Awesome. Well, I'll make sure we put those links in the show notes as well. Melissa, thank you so much for taking time to talk to me today. I really enjoyed it. I really, really did. This was awesome. I appreciate it.
It was great talking to you.
Yeah, I wish you nothing but success in everything that you've got coming up, and break all the legs, bust all the lips, do all the toy.
We're trying.
And
oh, I have to shout out, like, because I am remiss sometimes. So Superman is now out on DVD, but also I had my first SAG project, which was a couple years ago now, just came out on VOD. It's called The A-Frame by Calvin Lee Reader, and I have to give a shout out. So
awesome. I'll put those links in the show notes as well, so that people can find that stuff. Thank you again so much for being here. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
And if you would like to help support this podcast, I'd appreciate it if you bought me a coffee at chewingthefatbr.com. But until next time, I look forward to the chance we have to sit a spell and chew the fat.